Good morning children and welcome back to your chemistry class. Today in this chapter of chemical bonding and molecular structure we are going to discuss about hydrogen bonding. Though you must be knowing about it, but still we are going to talk things in detail about hydrogen bonding. So what is hydrogen bonding? The attractive forces which binds hydrogen atoms of one molecule with the electronegative atoms of the other molecule of the same or maybe different substance. They are termed as hydrogen bonds, right? And they are always represented by three dotted lines. So let me write down the definition over here. What is hydrogen bonding? I said the attractive forces which binds hydrogen atoms of one molecule with electronegative atoms of the other molecule, right? Of the same or different substance is known as hydrogen bond. Clear? Now, what are the conditions for the formation of hydrogen bond? So, first condition is it requires high electronegativity of the electronegative ions, right? That should be linked to the hydrogen atom. So, first condition is what? As I said, it requires high electronegativity of atoms. So, which atoms are we talking about with high electronegativity? We are talking about only oxygen, fluorine and nitrogen, right? They should be linked to hydrogen atom. Should be linked to hydrogen atom. This is the first condition. And what is the second condition? That the electronegative atom should have a smaller size. Okay, the electronegative atom should have small size. So the electronegativity of chlorine, it is same as that of chlorine atom, but chlorine is not able to form hydrogen bond as it is bigger in size. Fine. So if we talk about the strength of the bond angle, it always ranges from 10 to 40 kilojoules per mole, right? While that of the normal covalent bond, for normal covalent bond it was how much that we had studied earlier? It was around 400 kilojoules per mole. This was for the covalent compounds, right? But for hydrogen bond, what is the range? Hydrogen bond strength will be this, whereas for covalent compound the strength is 400 kilojoules per mole. So if we talk about the strength, we will find that hydrogen when combines with fluorine shows maximum bonding, or it has maximum strength than hydrogen with oxygen and hydrogen with nitrogen. Clear? So fluorine has the smallest size followed by oxygen and nitrogen, but chlorine, as I told you, it has a bigger size, so it does not form the hydrogen bonding. Now there are two types of hydrogen bonds. What are those two types of hydrogen bond? First is the intermolecular hydrogen bond and the second one is intramolecular hydrogen bond. Fine. So there are two types of bonds. What are they? Intermolecular hydrogen bond and intramolecular hydrogen bond. So let us study about these two different types of hydrogen bonds. So let us first begin with the intermolecular hydrogen bond. So understand, this type of bond, it is always formed between two different molecules of the same and different substances. Where are the bond? Where are they formed? This type of bond is formed between two different molecules of the same and different substances, right? And this always results in the association of the molecules, and therefore it increases the boiling point of the compound and also its solubility in water, right? So I'll write over here more points that we should be knowing about it. As I told you, what does it do? It increases the association of molecules, right? And since it increases the association of molecules, it also increases the boiling point, right? And C part, what else? It also shows solubility in water. Shows solubility in water. Now let us talk about some examples. Like for example, if we talk about hydrofluoric acid, that is HF. What is this termed as? Hydrofluoric acid, right? So how is the bond formed? Look over here. This hydrogen combines with fluorine, right? And then hydrogen, fluorine, hydrogen, and so on. So what did I say? This type of bond is formed between two different molecules. See, HF, 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 two different molecules of the same and different substances, right? They therefore increase the association of number of molecules. When association of number of molecule increases, it increases the boiling point and also shows solubility in water. Let's take another example. This was example 1. Let's talk about example 2 of intermolecular hydrogen bond. We shall see it in water also. Right over here, each oxygen is tetrahedrally surrounded by 4 hydrogen atoms, 2 by the covalent bonds and 2 by the hydrogen bonds. Okay, so let's see how do they form. So firstly, let me form water over here. Okay, so this hydrogen is going to show the hydrogen bonding with the hydrogen. Okay, then let me draw it over here. This hydrogen is going to show the hydrogen bonding with this oxygen, right? And again over here it combines with 2 atoms of hydrogen. They will further show hydrogen bonding. Okay, what about oxygen? As I told you, it is going to show the hydrogen bonding with hydrogen over here. This forms a covalent bond with 2 covalent bond with 2 hydrogen atoms, and then this is also going to show you the hydrogen bond. So what did I say? This water, each oxygen is, see, tetrahedrally surrounded by 4 hydrogen atoms. This is surrounded by 4 hydrogen atoms. This is surrounded by 4 hydrogen atoms. Surrounded by 4 hydrogen atoms. 2, how? 2 are the covalent bonds and 2 are the hydrogen bonds. Okay. 2 are the covalent bonds, 2 are the hydrogen bonds. I hope intermolecular hydrogen bonding is clear with these two examples. Now let us talk about intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Second point, the intramolecular hydrogen bond, right? It is formed between the hydrogen atom and the highly electronegative atoms, like for example I told you fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen that are present in the same molecule, and this results in the cyclization of the molecules, and this type of bonding, it decreases the boiling point and the solubility also of the compound in the water. Clear? There in intermolecular the solubility increases in water, intramolecular the solubility decreases in water. In intermolecular there was association of molecule and this increased the boiling point, and here this type of bonding, it decreases the boiling point, right? And it always results in the cyclization of the molecules. So let us look at certain examples. First example could be like your O-nitrophenol. So how can we see this hydrogen bonding? Right, this is the structure of O-nitrophenol, right? So here you can see the hydrogen bonding, and nitrogen also donates its electron to this oxygen. One more example is of O-hydroxy, ortho, O means ortho-hydroxy benzoic acid. So how do we draw this? O double bond H, right? C O H double bond O, and there is a hydrogen bond here. And there is a hydrogen bond, you can see over here. So these were some of the examples of intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So over here what happens? Decreases the boiling point, right? Secondly, solubility in water also decreases, and thirdly, results in the formation of cyclization. Clear? So intramolecular hydrogen bonding, I hope it is very clear. Now, what are the consequences of hydrogen bonding? This is what we are going to study next. Let us talk about the consequences of hydrogen bond. First point, let's talk about dissociation, right? So when hydrofluoric acid, it is dissolved in water, it dissociates to give what? It dissociates to give difluoride in place of fluorine ion. Okay, what does it give? It gives a difluoride ion. So let me show it to you through examples like hydrogen fluoride dissociates to give hydrogen ion plus difluoride ion, right? It does not give hydrogen ion and fluorine ion. I hope this is very clear. So this is due to hydrogen bonding. Okay. Second point, it also shows association. Now, due to intermolecular hydrogen bonding, two or more molecules of compound, they exist as associated molecules. This I had told you. So for example, carboxylic acid. It exists how? It always exists as dimer in the vapor state. Like for example, as I gave you, carboxylic acid exists as dimer in the vapor state. Okay, so let's see the example over here. How do we form? RCOOH. Okay, now this is one molecule, dimer, another molecule. So this another molecule will be attached to it by a hydrogen bonding. Okay, Cr double bond O, and here again it is going to get attached with a hydrogen bond. Clear? So association is also clear to you. What did I say? Due to intermolecular hydrogen bonding, two or more molecules in a compound, they associate to form a molecule, and this is one example. Then let's talk about the next consequence of hydrogen bonding. It shows also high melting point and boiling points, right? So compounds containing hydrogen bonds, they have high melting and boiling points. For example, like ammonia, right? Water and hydrofluoric acid, they all have high melting and boiling point as compared to the hydrides of other elements in their groups. So water exists in liquid state due to hydrogen bonding in water, right? But hydrogen sulfide, it exists as a gas due to the absence of hydrogen bonding. So this is one question that could be asked, why water appears as liquid whereas hydrogen sulfide, it exists as a gas. So what is your answer? Because water exists in the liquid state. Why? Due to the hydrogen bonding in water, but there is absence of hydrogen bonding in H2S, and therefore it exists in the gaseous state, right? Next point, like solubility. Let's talk about solubility and volatility, right? So organic compounds like alcohols, carboxylic acids, they're all soluble in water. Why? Due to the formation of hydrogen bonds, right, with the water. But if you talk about p-nitrophenol, it is more soluble in water than ortho-nitrophenol. Why? Because para-nitrophenol, it can form intermolecular hydrogen bond, and ortho-nitrophenol, as I had told you, it forms intramolecular hydrogen bond. So due to this reason, the para-nitrophenol is a less volatile than ortho-nitrophenol, right? So this explains the solubility and volatility. Then we come to the next point. Let's talk about viscosity. So intermolecular hydrogen bonding, it increases the viscosity of the compound. Intermolecular hydrogen bonding increases viscosity. Okay. For example, glycerol, it is more viscous. Why? Due to the presence of 3 hydroxyl groups, and they form number of hydrogen bonds per molecule, and therefore it is viscous. Example you can write over here, as I told you, for glycerol, because it has 3 hydroxyl groups. Okay, and therefore it shows hydrogen bond, and therefore it exhibits viscosity, right? Then we come to the last point, that is some unique property of water. What is that unique property of water we are going to discuss over here? The first one is that ice is lighter than water. Do you agree with this, that ice is lighter than water? Yes. So as a result of your tetrahedral arrangement of water that I had already explained in the water molecules in the solid state, the ice structure, it extends in 3 dimensions. Remember, the ice structure, it extends in 3 dimensions, whereas the water molecule in the solid extent in the solid state, it results in the tetrahedral arrangement. So there are vacant spaces that are present in the crystal structure, and hence this gives rise to a open cage like structure having a large volume of for the given mass of water, and density becomes less, and therefore we say that ice is lighter than water. Okay, I repeat once again, why do we say that ice is lighter than water? We already know that in water the arrangement is what kind? Tetrahedral arrangement is found in the molecules in the solid state, whereas ice, it shows 3 dimensions. So when it shows 3 dimensions, there is vacant space present in the crystal structure, and this gives rise to a open cage like structure which has a large volume for the given mass of water, and density, it becomes less, right? And second important point, that water has maximum density at 4 degrees Celsius. I hope this point also you know it very well. So when ice melts on increasing the temperature, I repeat, when ice melts on increasing the temperature, the open cage, it starts collapsing, right, due to some partial breakdown of the hydrogen bonds, and this allows the water molecules to come closer, and now they fill the vacant spaces, and this results in the contraction of the volume, right? So we say that density, it starts increasing and it becomes maximum at which temperature? 4 degrees Celsius. And if further we increase the temperature, the kinetic energy of the molecule increases, and they begin to separate, and this then now causes expansion, which is more than the contraction, and hence we say that above 4 degrees Celsius, density of water again starts decreasing, and it is maximum where? At 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, I hope all the points about hydrogen bonding is very clear to you. So today we are just going to talk about hydrogen bonding in this video. Thank you.